When was the last time I uploaded a Don't Starve related video? Oh. Holy shit. Hello everyone, Whiskas here, and yeah, I'm finally back to DST after a 2-year break. Recently I've been playing a lot of Winona again, and I wanted to teach new players some tricky stuff with her. With tricky I mean farms, because that's the only thing that basically makes Winona Winona. And also obliterating bosses with rocks, but we don't talk about that. So yeah, in this video I'll be teaching how to do stuff like this, and this, and this, which is not working at the moment, and also this, which is also not working because I haven't found a single goddamn Varg in my game because, well, Clay hates me. But yeah, let's go to the basics. Let's start with some quick general information. First up, let's take a look at all the core elements required for making the farms I'm gonna be showing. So yeah, you only require catapults and statues. Catapults are really not that deep. They're a structure that deals 42.5 damage, has a little AoE effect, and will target anything that the player attacks or that is targeting the player. The statues, on the other hand, are gonna be working as walls for these designs. But wait, why not simply use normal walls? That's a good question, and the answer is quite simple. You see, even if catapults cannot deal damage to walls anymore, they're a big no-no for one simple reason. They change the pathfinding of mobs. This is better explained with these two clips. As you can see, mobs will actively change their route so they can reach you. And if it's impossible for them to do that, they'll simply break the walls. Statues do not suffer from this problem, since they're not considered entities, so they cannot be destroyed by normal mobs, and they also don't block or change the routing of enemies. And I know that statues are not the only structure capable of doing this, because fossils, end tables, and heck, even lava pools does the same thing. But the other reason we use statues is because they're the most accessible out of all the other things I've mentioned. And they also are really pretty. So with all this information out of the way, let's get to how to make what I consider to be the most important farms that any Winona player should have in the world.
Hey look buddy, that means I solve problems.
Okay, so this is not a farm, but it's one of the most important things you can do as Winona since it gets rid of the constant worry of Hound waves. The materials we're gonna need are now showing on the screen. And now let's begin with how to build this little thingy. First, we're gonna place our potter's wheel and consider it as the center of the design. After putting all the statues, we'll end up destroying it and place our generator in the same position. Now, we'll simply put the catapults and the spotlight to delimit the area we're gonna be using. And here the thing gets a little bit complicated to explain, since this design can be changed at will, depending on how big or small you want to make it, and also now is the perfect time to explain how to place statues with precision. There's two ways of doing this, one of them requires a mod called place statues, while the other one requires walls. The first option doesn't require a lot of explanation, it basically lets you perfectly position statues. Just take one, the grid will show you where to drop it, and then press C to do the action without problem. Because yeah, you cannot drop statues normally since they just fall at the random position. If you need more detailed info, the mod's Steam page explains all you need to know. The second option is also pretty straightforward, and this is for those players who don't like to play with mods or don't have access to them. For this method, we're gonna use walls as a way of perfectly position ourselves to drop the statues. Just place them, walk to the section that fusions them, and then equip a chest item like an armor so the statue will drop exactly on your position. We're gonna be using the wall method so everybody can follow. And it's real simple. First, we'll cover the zone with walls leaving a space that will be the entrance. Then, using the technique I explained, we're gonna place the statues like this. After finishing, destroy the walls and we'll continue placing more walls in front of the entrance and repeat the process. Finally, as I said at the beginning, get rid of the powder and add the generator. And that's it, you made a hand wave defense. This thing doesn't need a long explanation. Every time you hear a hound wave is coming, just get into the safe zone, activate the catapults and let them do the dirty work. Also, one little thing I forgot to mention is either adding a flingomatic or a scale flooring for the main structures since red hounds can board them. Now let's move to the actual farms. Let's go from the least useful to the most important farm. And the big farm is the least useful. Don't get me wrong, big farms are quite handy to have since pigskin is a resource that is not easy to get once you demolish all the big houses in your world, and pigs are also a good source of meat when you kill them in a full moon. A little later I explain why I don't think this is the most important farm, but now let's show what materials do we need. And now, let us begin with this. First of all, why the hell do we need dogs? Dogs in this scenario are just for making our life simpler. Look, if you don't want to go to the monkey island and deal with the powder monkeys, which is totally understandable, it's fine, you can simply close the big houses with walls, as every other pig farm does. But dogs help us have a designated area with the exact dimensions we need, and also there are cheaper alternatives, so yeah, there's the reason. Enough with the yapping. We'll start by placing one dog to be the connection between land and farm, and then we'll expand by doing a 3x5 tiles area. Before putting the big houses, let's do the statues to close them, the bait pens so they stay outside their houses at all times, and the catapults so we can get rid of them when we please. Again, you can use either walls or the mud to place the statues. In this case, I'll be using the mud and we're placing the walls like this. Now we do the catapult setup. With this design we're trying to get the maximum distance of catapults, so there's space between them and the statues to place the bait pen. And talking about the pen, we simply do a 3x3 and put the glommer goop in it. Finally, let's place the pig houses and we just finished the pig farm. This one is really simple to do and also extremely cheap compared to the classic designs that use a fire pen to kill pigs. So if you want either renewable pigskin or a good source of meat, do this in your world. Again, this one is the least useful for Winona since it doesn't offer an important resource compared to the next two. And talking about the next farm...
Well... You little spider!
You!
Now, wanna see something funny? So yeah, the spider farm is exactly the same as the pig farm. The materials we're gonna need are this. And I'm just gonna put the same clips I used in the pig farm but sped up. And we just finished
Spider Farm.
Hey! Remember when I said that walls are something that we don't want to use in farms? I lied! The thing here is that, yes, walls still change the pathfinding of mobs. But what if we use that to our advantage? And here comes the reason of why I'm making this video, so I can remake the Varg Farm video that I made 2 years ago and justify the reason of why I put outdated in the title. We're gonna use the same design I made in that video with some minor adjustments. And also I'm gonna explain how to build it because the last time I just showed the thing without any kind of explanation. So one more time, the materials we'll be needing are now showing on screen. And let's begin. One question that might emerge with the material list is, why is Chester necessary for this? Well, at the beginning of the video I explained that catapults can target anything that the player attacks, and this includes mobs that are considered friendly, with the difference that they don't receive any damage from the boulders. With this in mind, Chester will be used as a way of making catapults attack endlessly, because at one point they will stop attacking once hounds stop targeting the player, or they'll simply go for the bait that we'll be using to make hounds go to the kill zone. This can be seen with the design that Gabriel made in this video, where at one point he needs to attack the hounds so they can target him and catapults can continue working. Also, Chester has health regen, so yeah, there's another reason. With all of this explained, let's actually begin with the building of this thing. We'll begin by placing our potter's wheel. One important thing is placing the potters exactly on the center of the tile you'll use as the core of the farm. This decision will help us later. After this, delimit the area with the catapults, the spotlight and the phlegmatic as we did in the Hound wave defense. Again, as we did in the Hound wave defense, we'll surround the safe zone with walls, but this time it's not for placing statues. These walls will stay there as a way of making the hounds go into the kill zone, thanks to the thing that I explained about the routing of enemies in the beginning of the video. Also, make sure to place the gates so you can enter the bunker. Now, on this part that we left open, we're gonna make a little hallway. This hallway needs to be long enough so catapults are able to work. You see, if the target they're attacking reaches a certain range near them, they'll simply stop working. So we'll make it 5 wells long to prevent this. This will be our kill zone. Now, at the end of the kill zone, we will drop our statues this way. And after this, place Chester exactly in the middle of this and completely trap him with another statue. We just finished the first part, which is both the safe zone and the kill zone. Now let's move to the bar cage and the bait pen. For the bar cage, let's begin with placing the telelocators that focus exactly 5 tiles away from the center of the farm. This is the maximum range of the Varg summoning attack before hounds enter our bunker, and this is why I recommended placing the potter's wheel in that position. After doing this, enclose the telelocator with walls, leaving an open space for each gem pillar. Now, place 2 statues a little behind this exact pillar. To make sure you place them correctly, check if you cannot enter the cage, but at the same time you're able to place the purple gem. If both of these things are a yes, then you're good to go. The bait pen is almost the same we did in the pig farm, just a bit bigger and with an obligatory entrance. The reason is because hounds will be stacking here, and the smaller this thing is, the harder things will become once you try to remove the bait. And yes, we'll be placing and taking the bait out of here. The bait skin is gonna be placed both in the pen and inside the safe zone, so we can lure hounds either when we want to kill them or leave them on standby. Now that you finish all of this, destroy the potter's wheel and place a generator in the same spot. All that is left is teleporting barks to the cage. Now, once there is a bark in the cage and you need to refuel the telelocator, simply use a pan flute to safely put the gems. This little cage can handle up to 3 and 4 barks, and trust me, that's all the barks you want. Now, when the cage reaches its full capacity, close the open spaces that we left for the pillars. This is to stop hounds from getting stuck in there. And congrats, you just finished the Varg Farm. Now, how does this thing work? To start, activate the catapults and hit Chester to make them attack endlessly. Also place 1 pigskin to lure hounds to the kill zone once we remove the other pigskin from the bait pen. Now, take the aggro of the barks, then take the pigskin out of the bait pen, and there you go, the farm is working. Simple, right? The only drawback of this design is that it can only be used on winter and spring, since firehounds can actually kill Chester. The phlegmatic is there so in case a firehound gets under the radar, we can turn off the flames quickly. So yeah, that's all for the Varg Farm. Also, a little disclaimer I forgot to mention, this farm works better after day 100, because barks spawn more hounds, and they have a bigger chance of spawning. And that's the end of the video. I really hope you like this thing because it's the first time I put some actual effort into editing and writing a script for a video. So yeah, subscribe if you want more content like this, and also leave a comment if you want to see something more specific about the game. Right now I have another 2 ideas, one talking about the WINONA skill tree 1 year later, and the other being a full guide for beginners. So yeah, I wish you all a good day. Bye bye.